So where are we?
We are in Greenville, South Carolina, also known as the Buckle of the Bible Belt. Nice and conservative, friendly people, lots of green, and a great place to be.
And you are?
Kevin Brinson, born and raised in Marianna, Florida in the South, and moved to Greenville in 2006 and have loved it ever since.
Yeah. I try to ask simple questions. Then I ask complex questions. So, what is it you do?
I work at Michelin, and I am responsible for the automotive group's business operations and forecasting. So that means when we have customers like Honda, Ford, Nissan, and Toyota, they send us their forecast, and my team looks at, hey, does this make sense? If they ask for 1,000 and they've never taken more than 200, do we want to ask the factory to make 1,000 or just 300? So it's helping us understand how much of what our customer asks for do we actually need to make. And if we make as close as possible to what they really need, then we have the least amount of inventory, and then we make the most money.
So you save them millions of dollars a year.
We hope so. We hope that we save lots of money. For sure, if the customer gets everything they need and we have the lowest amount of inventory, then we're happy.
Nice. They pay you, I'm sure, pretty good, huh?
They pay me well. I've not gone hungry yet since I've been working there.
Where else have you lived in the world with this company? Or in general?
So I lived with Michelin in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So it's the second largest city in Indiana, of course, next to Indianapolis. It was a great town, really, really friendly people. And I was able to connect not only at work, but in the community. So there were nonprofits that dealt with kids, with veterans, with all sorts of things that I connect with. So it was a great place to be. And then it was 3 hours from Chicago, 3 hours to Detroit, 3 hours to Cincinnati. So if I wanted to go somewhere for a weekend or a long weekend, there were major cities that I could always go to. Outside of that, I lived in San Diego, California when I was in the Navy. Went to boot camp out there and spent my first year in the Navy in San Diego, which I think is the most beautiful city in the nation. The weather is amazing. It averages about 70 degrees year-round. It doesn't hardly rain. The beach is there. It's close to Mexico. You can be in the mountains in an hour. You can be at the beach. You can do anything you want in terms of seeing things and having fun. So that's the place that I've loved the most. And again, I grew up in Florida. I did live in North Carolina briefly when I worked for Honeywell. Wasn't quite as an exciting city. Rocky Mount, North Carolina. It was about 45 minutes east of Raleigh. So I could at least go to Raleigh-Durham on a regular basis, daily if necessary. But I don't think I would describe Rocky Mount as an exciting city.
How long have you been in Greenville now?
So now I've been in Greenville since 2011, and it is 2023. So August 1st, 2011 is when I moved back to Greenville from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Okay.
So about 12 years now, and
thank you for making me not do the math.
And it's a place that when people ask, where do you want to live when you retire, or do you want to stay there? I'm thinking, of course. Greenville is 100 miles south of Charlotte. It's 150 miles north of Atlanta. Charleston is 3 hours away. So there's stuff to see, there are things to do, and there are other major cities that are so close to Greenville. And then we probably get snow maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
Though we're not used to it enough that once we had a forecast for snow on a Tuesday, they told us that Wednesday we would get 2 to 4 inches of snow, and they canceled school Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, just to make sure. So the weather is warm enough.
Cautious.
Yeah. So the weather is warm enough in the winter
Uh-huh.
that, for me, it's a great place to be and not have, months and months of snow and cold weather, which
Right.
I'm not a fan of.
Cool. How long have you been into couch surfing?
I've been doing couch surfing now probably about 14 years. And like many others, I had a profile and something happened and the profile got canceled. And then I started up again. The really great thing, though, is for me, I think I started doing more couch surfing again in, I think, 2017, maybe 2016, 2017. It was an experience that I have loved. I've couch surfed in Barcelona, in Rome, in Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, in Houston, and Richmond, Virginia. So I found the couch surfing community globally and nationally to be welcoming, to be friendly, to be exciting. I've gotten a chance to host surfers from Colombia in South America, from India, from Russia, and from everywhere. And as a result of doing this, it's given me, first, a much deeper understanding of how life is lived outside of the United States, or how life is lived outside of where I live. And when people ask me, so what is this couch surfing thing? You sleep on someone's couch? It's like, well, it could be. Or they could have a guest room that you sleep there. So I always say, it's people who love people. And then I get the question, well, what do they get out of it? Or what do you get out of it? I said, connecting with people. So if I didn't have any vacation or any money to go on vacation, then hosting people in my city is the closest way to travel without leaving home. It's the country comes to me, the city comes to me, and then whoever that person is, they get a chance to share with me their experience of what they've seen, what they've done, what they've enjoyed. I've learned certain dishes that people cook in their native countries. I've understood better the historical perspective, or sometimes it's even why things happen this way that are unfamiliar to me. And again, it's been great. Have I ever had a bad couch surfing experience? No. The worst experience I'd say that I ever had is one time someone stayed and they said, I said to them, hey, listen, if you want to eat something, just get a paper towel and put the sauce on a bowl instead of eating over the jar. And there was, it's not a big deal. I said, okay, well, listen, gotcha. And that next day, it was like, it's time to go. So it wasn't an anger thing. It was just my concept of what respect looked like. So again, never had any bad experiences. I don't count that as bad, but that's the worst of the experiences I've had with couch surfing.
Well, you're a pretty easygoing guy, very easy to get along with, and you're menacing.
I
You look like you ripped my head off.
Listen, I get that, and I'm never really sure how to flip that switch and show up as friendly and nice, other than through my behavior. But I have been told that I look menacing. So one of the things that I've always been taught is that it's my responsibility to make people feel comfortable in my home.
Yeah.
So growing up, my mother always said, you never invite someone into your home to mistreat them. If you don't want them there, you don't invite them. Once you invite them, it's your responsibility to treat them the same way you treat you. And so as a result of that, anyone who comes to my home, they get treated the way I would treat me. And so easygoing, the intent is, depending upon how long you've couch surfed, or depending upon how many experiences you've had couch surfing, I want to make sure that experience is good. So it's like, listen, you're in a safe place. There's no real concerns here. If you're thirsty, you get what you need. If you're sleepy, you need time to rest, then take that. When I found that I don't have requirements of surfers, when you arrive, I give you a key. There are some hosts who say, when I leave in the morning, I want you to leave. And when I come back, then you can come back. That's not the way it works for me. The way it works for me is I've invited you into my place. You deserve the freedom and the space of someone who I would invite into my space. So for me, it's been great. For sure, I will continue to couch surf. I will host and I will surf. And I've had great experiences doing both hosting and surfing.
Well, obviously nobody's ever stolen anything from you because you don't have anything to steal.
So I would say I'm in that minimalist area.
How long have you been a minimalist?
So I took a sabbatical from work, or maybe I'd say just a personal leave of absence. And for 3 months, I traveled around. 50% of the time I couch surfed. 50% of the time I used Airbnb. And what I found is when I returned, there were so many things that I just really didn't need. I love books. I love to read. And I donated all the books that I had to an organization called Greenville Literacy Association, which helps with adult literacy. And they have an annual book sale every year where they raise money for all the things that they want to do. And I said, listen, I have all these books. I'm likely not going to read them again, or I've never read them, and now they're just taking up space. So why don't I do something really meaningful with those books and donate them so they can be used or repurposed? And after I donated the books, I was like, wow, this feels great. What else can I get rid of? And so then I went into each room. Okay, in the pantry, I have dishes I'm not using. Let me get rid of those, okay? Why do I have 6 winter coats? I probably only need 1. Let's donate those. So as I got rid of more and more things, I felt better. But that experience in traveling through Europe just said, I have a lot of excess that I really don't need. Let me utilize those things that I have for the benefit of others.
Cool.